desert where no one...
This week on the Crypto Nightly News, I survived being stranded for a night in the desert, and markets felt the pain of loss and rejection. Forbes magazine put on a shindig for Web 3.0, and the top 5 rags to riches stories in crypto. We'll have those stories for you, and a new show to launch that I hope will have you rolling in the aisles, called Definitely Probably Not the Real Crypto News, in partnership with our friends at CryptoDingo.com. Thanks for tuning in to the Crypto Nightly News.
It's clear that we all know the term future of the digital asset compared to last year's survey. Welcome to the Crypto Nightly News with Chris Jerman.
Welcome to the Crypto Nightly News for Sunday, August 7th, 2022. I'm your host, Christopher Jerman. This week was a rough one on all accounts. I was supposed to be broadcasting this episode from Lake Tahoe, and I did make it out there, but made a speedy return back to my little trailer parked in an undisclosed location in the Utah desert when things didn't work out with the new job that I was going for. On the way back, I missed my class at Luma Wealth, and I blew a tire at midnight on the loneliest highway in America. Just about the time the buzzards started circling me, the folks at Delta Tire and Glass in Delta, Utah, gave my little Subi a new set of kicks, and I made it home just in time to find out that my battery was dead. My woes be damned, because the markets took just as much of a beating on the 7-day look back, and the week was marked by a couple of high-profile hacks at Solana and Nomad. In our second story today, I had to give you a reason to smile, so I found a report about 5 of the most notable rags to riches stories in crypto, and I also spent some time with Forbes magazine to talk Web 3.0 with 4 of the top names in the business. And to put the cherry on the top of the week, because laughter is the best medicine, I am starting a new show this week I'm calling Probably Definitely Not the Real Crypto News, in partnership with our new friends over at CryptoDingo.com. You'll find that tagged onto the end of this YouTube video exclusively. So for all you listeners in podcasting land and out on Glacier FM radio, check out our YouTube feed this week if you want a few laughs at the expense of crypto. Now the disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a crypto influencer. I am not a former financial mover and shaker, CPA, stockbroker, or MBA holding charlatan with a penchant for crypto. I am just a little old journalist doing my level best to teach and to learn all the ins and outs of crypto so that I can help you wander down the rabbit hole and find some financial independence and wealth building at the end of this decentralized rainbow we call crypto. This is for educational and informational purposes only. So it's Sunday night. The day of rest is coming to a close, and I do hope your weekend was all that it could be. But if not, it is my sincerest hope that you will kick back, crack another cold one, and put your ringer on silent for the next half hour, because we will be wandering off the map into uncharted waters where there be monsters. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, and as the Blues Brothers so eloquently put it,
it's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
It's time for the Crypto Nightly.
So the grapes can grow.
Now, I am no drinking man, but if we had markets like the ones we had this week, every week I might start. 24 of the top 30, including Bitcoin and ETH, were down on the week. The brightest star on the crypto horizon was in the 30 spot, with Flow coming in up some 30% on the week. The other 5 with green behind their names included Polkadot, Avalanche, Near Protocol, Kronos, and Monero, all posting single-digit gains on the week. Bitcoin was down 5% to just above 23K, and ETH down a little over 0.5%, closing the week just north of 1,700. Things got a little wonky for the top 10 NFTs as well, with Moonbirds taking the top spot, up 66% to 1.8 million in sales for the week. Project Kaizen 7 character reveals yielded over 220% increases in sales at the number 4 spot, and NFL All Day came in at number 7 with 191 increase up to nearly 440,000 in sales, with NBA Top Shot coming in at the number 9 spot with 33% increases up $405,000. They must have seen our NFT episode where we talked about the deals that can be found in sport NFTs, as both the NFL and NBA saw upticks in buyers this week, with over 5,000 buyers checking in with the NFL and over 2,000 buyers for the NBA. In the number 2 spot, we find So Rare, number 3, NFT If, followed by Other Deed, Potatoes, and Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Meebits came in DFL. In other news, there was a lesson about web security and your wallet. Solana confirmed on Wednesday that at least 7,767 wallets were hacked to the tune of about $5.2 million. The hack was on hot wallets like Slope and Phantom that remain connected to the internet, as opposed to cold wallets, which usually require a USB drive and have long periods of disconnection. Solana prices tanked on the news, but recovered slightly by the weekend to just over $40. The news followed a Monday revelation from Nomad, a blockchain bridge, or 2 separate blockchains enabled to work together, that acknowledged that 190 million had been taken from it after a hacker infiltrated its systems. The attack was known as a free-for-all because the hacker's original code allowed anyone to copy and paste it and steal the crypto for themselves, making it almost impossible to track. Nomad announced an up to 10% bounty to any hacker who returned at least 90% of the funds they hacked, promising that Nomad would not pursue legal action if the funds were returned to an official Nomad recovery wallet. And now it's time for the Crypto Potato Market Wrap-Up. Dogecoin was created to be the ultimate crypto meme, but the world's richest man takes it very seriously. The world's richest man and CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, is a well-known Dogecoin supporter. But in a recent interview on the Full Send podcast, he said that Dogecoin blockchain had a much greater transactional capacity than Bitcoin. He also pointed out that Doge can currently be used not only to buy merchandise at Tesla and SpaceX, but as a means of payment at other large companies, such as the Boring Company, which offers subway transportation services in Las Vegas. The U.S. Bankruptcy Court in New York ruled on August 4th that Voyager had provided a sufficient basis to support its claims that customers should get access to some of their funds. A custodial account held at Metropolitan Commercial Bank contains at least $270 million in cash that the company disclosed when it filed for bankruptcy. The firm has now been greenlighted to return these funds to its clients, settling one of the most significant issues it has faced. Voyager Digital suspended withdrawals in early July due to bad debts that Three Arrows Capital had accrued. The firm filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on July 5th, stating at the time that it had $350 million in cash held in the for benefit of account for customers at the Metropolitan Commercial Bank. And that is the Crypto Potato Market Wrap-Up, brought to you by CryptoPotato.com. According to Bloomberg News, who looked at the numbers for crypto after the likes of Tom Brady and Matt Damon took a stab at selling them, celebrity sellers of crypto have proven to be crypto killers. Matt Damon tried his hand at selling for Crypto.com in a now infamous October 28th ad that showed on the Super Bowl. Bitcoin and ETH tanked soon after, with many of Damon's fans accusing the movie icon of supporting a speculative fancy for the almighty dollar. And with Tom Brady, Mike Tyson, and Reese Witherspoon all touting their own brands of crypto snake oil, some are blaming the crypto winter on these celebs, while others believe it is just a matter of coincidence. Despite the horrific track record of crypto and NFT values post-celebrity endorsement, it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. According to the report, anyone who bought Bitcoin after recent touts from soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo and TikTok influencer Kabi Lame are actually slightly ahead in recent weeks since they first appeared. Now it's time for my Luma Wealth update of the week. So, as I mentioned, just about the time Robert and the guys were tucking into week 2 of Luma Wealth, I was traversing the mountains of western Nevada watching the sunset on one of the longest nights I would ever spend in the American Southwest desert. I let Robert know earlier in the day that it was unlikely I would be attending, and he was more than cool about it, and he completely understood. But here's the best part of this whole virtual learning experience. Every class is recorded and published online, so I can check out the class even if I didn't get to attend. And if I have any questions, my instructor is just a phone call away. There really isn't a better way to learn crypto trading and bot creating than Luma Wealth. Have you signed up yet? The early bird discount on the October 10th class ends on September 5th. And if you tell them you heard about it on this broadcast, I am very certain Robert will take even better care of you than he has taken care of me. The markets are down now, but everyone says that's the time to buy. You haven't a moment to lose, I'm sure of it. So sign up today at lumawealth.com. I know you'll thank yourself if you do, but don't take my word for it. Here's another Luma Wealth student. Listen to what she has to say.
I'm a single mom of 3. I've been working in healthcare settings, specifically in clinical laboratory medicine, for about 25 years. So I was actually surfing the net and I saw the advertisement for Luma Wealth. And I said,
And lastly, would you recommend Luma Wealth's classes to someone else?
I definitely would. Actually have.
I was invited last week to a web forum that was produced by Forbes magazine that took a look at Web 3.0 and the future for crypto. It was called Web 3 Strategy, How Institutions Are Preparing to Capitalize on Blockchain-Powered Internet. The event was hosted by Forbes senior editor for digital assets, Michael Delcas, and was attended by 4 of the biggest movers and shakers on the crypto scene today. Tegan Klein, co-founder of the software development startup Edge and Node, Omer Amsel, director of product management at Fireblocks, Joe Kinney, product management at BitGo, and Johan Bornman, product lead at MetaMask, were all there. There's a definite shortage of good video coverage of crypto right now, and I couldn't miss a chance to see one of the biggest names in finance take on the subject of crypto seriously in a well-heeled forum like this. I prepared a sampling of some of the comments from the event in a short video, but if you'd like to see the full event, it's online and it's available, and I've included a link for it in the description of this newscast.
The plus side of being in a bear market like this is everyone likes to build when there's a bear. We've gathered here today a bunch of people who represent companies from around the world building a wide range of solutions on the crypto tech stack, helping not only young startups build into Web3, but institutions that our moms and dads know get into the future of decentralized services.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually come from a traditional finance background. I started my career in investment banking at Bank of America. So I was working 100 hours a week, lowest level of the totem pole. I would have to spend about 25 years of my life to get to the top of the bank to start making the kind of impact that I wanted to make. I moved over to sales and trading just to get a faster paced environment. In investment banking, you have a few deals that you work on over a long period of time, whereas in sales and trading and investment banking, we work in a really fast-paced environment. And I just saw kind of some of the inefficiencies. So as an example, in traditional banking, I was a market maker, I was a liquidity provider. And to get there, you have to get a finance degree. And then you have to interview 50 times. And then you have to take the Series 7 and the Series 63. And then, okay, now you can be a market maker. But most of the money that you make for the bank, it goes to the bank. It doesn't go to you. And so I think Uniswap is a stark contrast to this. As a decentralized exchange, anyone can be a liquidity provider. You can be 16 years old. You can be 18 years old anywhere in the world. and you don't have to ask permission. So there's no interview. You can just provide liquidity and you can earn for that.
And what I realized then, we haven't discussed it because no one likes to talk about regulation, but what I discovered back then is actually the regulators can only benefit from looking at at blockchain technologies because the flow is public and transparent, right? They can use that as an enforcement mechanism with what we're seeing right now with the decentralized IDs.
Curiosity is a very important thing. I think it's really important to stay curious in this ecosystem. Perhaps closely ties to passion, but for most of us in the space, there's a part of crypto, there's an area of crypto that deeply resonates with us, both either from a technical perspective or from a values perspective. And so I see this is such a fast-moving ecosystem. There's so much innovation happening. It's almost impossible to stay up to date. But those that are deeply curious, that want to participate, are the ones that sort of cross that chasm much faster.
So I love the focus on curiosity and passion. I just have to interject before we go to Joseph. I remember in the early days, nobody got into crypto to get rich. Nobody. There was no money to be made. It was all people who were passionate and curious. And I have to say, I do miss that. It's still out there. None of us are philanthropists. It's okay if you want to get rich. I'm not saying that. But I love that you kind of go back to those early days of focusing on the passion, the curiosity.
I worked for Century Partners, boutique advisory shop in New York City. I was investing in distressed debt and special situations out in Los Angeles. And it's funny because when I went, I expected there to be a financial crisis, and I thought that the debt was going to be trading at a discount. And what the Fed did is prop everything up. So through quantitative easing, through light interest rate policy, there weren't any interesting opportunities. And during that time, I started thinking more and more about what was going on. And I think we see it now, right, with high inflation, but the Fed's still, even backing off on this upcoming hike. I think what I realized is that from a macroeconomic perspective, at some point the system had to break and reset. And I just decided that this was time. It just seemed like crypto had progressed to the point and matured to the point that it was the right time to enter the industry. And that was a foregone conclusion that at some point in the next 5, 10, 20 years, there was going to be a paradigm shift. I believe there will be a paradigm shift. I don't think the current monetary system can continue indefinitely, and that's what I'm here.
Joseph, but I don't think it is. I would say get your hands dirty. That's for me, not, don't necessarily jump to a company that offers you kind of to join crypto, but it's so easy to get your hands dirty, to write a smart contract, deploy it on a testnet, to see how you interact, to open, go get a MetaMask account, do something with that, get your hands dirty, see what it is from the inside. And it will probably, it will either suck you right in because, you'll go on this Discord channel and, you'll meet all these cool new people and, you'll have to discuss and you have something to relate. Or it will actually not be for you. So you actually validate it, if you're about to move to that space or not. So I would say start just getting your hands dirty, building something, do something in that space.
And in our second story, we've all heard stories of the rich getting richer through crypto, but reports of normal people finding their way into big money do exist. NBC TV 18 rounded up 5 ordinary individuals who are now millionaires thanks to crypto investing. Number 1. Also known as Slumdoge Millionaire, Glauber Contasoto's rags to riches story is the kind that draws people to crypto. Coming from a very humble background, his family moved to the U.S. from Brazil, where he says he was really poor. Contasoto, a music pro turned investor, heard about Dogecoin last year and decided to wander down the rabbit hole. With no disposable income to invest, he sold almost all of his stocks and even borrowed some money on margin from the app Robinhood to purchase his Dogecoin. Then tweets from Elon Musk sent prices skyrocketing, and a little over 2 months later, Glauber Conte-Soto was a crypto millionaire. Number 2. In 2010, Eric Finman was 11 years old and hated attending school. He had big dreams, but his teacher believed he would never amount to anything more in life, quote unquote. One day, he accompanied his elder brother to a protest in Washington, D.C., where he saw a man wearing a Bitcoin t-shirt. When he asked his brother what it meant, his brother said, "It's going to end Wall Street." He was inspired, and in 2011, he took $1,000 that his grandmother had given him and invested it all in Bitcoin, which was trading around $10 at the time. 10 years later, Finman is a crypto millionaire. At the age of 15, he sold $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, started an education platform called Botangle, inspired by his negative schooling experience. And he sold it for 300 Bitcoin a few years later, further expanding his Bitcoin holdings. Number 3. If you know the crypto world at all, you have heard of Rachel Siegel. She has become a Bitcoin millionaire and the founder of Crypto Finally, a platform that works toward mass adoption of blockchain technology. However, things weren't always this good. In 2017, she was a substitute teacher living paycheck to paycheck in a dark apartment in New York City. However, her life changed after she attended the after party of a crypto conference. From then on, Siegel decided to put the leftovers of her weekly paycheck, around $25, into cryptocurrencies. Over time, her holdings grew in value and putting her at the top of the crypto influencer list. Number 4, Kane Ellis. Kane Ellis is now a Bitcoin millionaire who loves to pose with his Maserati or in a bathtub with roses. However, his fortune didn't come from investing. Instead, he took the back door and made his money through mining. In 2011, Ellis was 18 years old, out of high school, just dropping out, who learned about mining through his IT job. While he was out working, his computer kept mining Bitcoin. Initially, he only earned about 4 Bitcoin per day, equivalent to around $8 at the time. This was a decent passive income, but Ellis anticipated how lucrative it could be in the future, and it panned out perfectly for him. With Bitcoin earnings, he started CarSwap, a leading global platform for trading, selling, buying cars. And his Maserati bears the number plate BANKRPT. And number 5, Tommy and James. No surnames because of privacy reasons. Last year, CNN Business carried a story on 2 brothers from Westchester, New York, who went from nearly jobless to millionaires overnight. They were both into wedding photography and filming, but with COVID-19 lockdowns in place, the work was hard to come by. Then, in February of 2021, a friend told Tommy and James about Shiba Inu, a coin that could be a real moneymaker someday. They rolled the dice on the meme coin, thinking of it as a lottery ticket that wouldn't expire. At first, the brothers managed to scrape up $200 and bought a ton of SHIB, which was worth a fraction of a cent at the time. After a few weeks, their investment had grown 300%. Encouraged by the growth, they got their mom and sisters to invest too. And 2 months later, they woke up as millionaires. While these stories might make you want to buy some crypto ASAP, it is my job and also incredibly important to remind you to remember that things don't always pan out the same way every time. On the flip side, people can lose their entire savings overnight on cryptocurrency or any form of investing for that matter. Therefore, before you try your hand at crypto or any other kind of investing, gold, stocks, anything, do your research and remember to invest only as much as you can afford to lose. Hey there, this is Captain Christopher German coming to you from the moon. No, this isn't the moon, actually. This is, in fact, this is the remnants of Lake Powell, and it is drying up, and I am in a giant spot that used to have 100 feet of water over top of it, and it's all empty right now. But I'm not here today to talk about that. I'm talking about the Great Loop. The Great Loop series is not a television show so much as it's a media event.
It's a Crazy Eddie Christmas in August audio blowout blitz.
We're going to spend the first year selecting the 20 people who will participate in this and getting the boats made. We will spend the second year of this project sailing the 6,000 miles of the Great Loop, which is not the Great Loop that, America thinks of it as.
It's time to start talking about our next.
It's a modified Great Loop because we're going to go up through Canada.
Would you like to be able to speak like a Canadian?
And hopefully pull in a bunch of Canadian viewers and show the beautiful areas of Nova Scotia and, Toronto, Lawrence Seaway and the St. Lawrence River. And after we spend the year sailing around the Great Loop in Catalina 42s, brand new Catalina 42s that will be given to the participants of this project. The reason why this is a media event is because as we're traveling along, these people that participate in this project, the sailors, they are going to have YouTube channels. They're also going to be supported by the people who watch their YouTube channels. We're going to stop into places like Baltimore and Boston and New York City and Miami, and we're going to give the people who participate a chance to intermingle with the people who are watching them. Don't think of it as a television show, though, because it's not. The Great Loop is Evel Knievel jumping the Snake River, combined with The Truman Show, combined with America's Got Talent. It's a combination of all of these different mechanisms all together, and we're going to turn it into a TV show. So, I'm Captain Christopher German. This is a dry Lake Powell, and I thank you for watching. This week, the crypto markets and I had a tough time. We both were down and we both took a long ride to nowhere. But at the end of the week, there always seems to be a glimmer on the horizon. I was telling Jennifer this morning that markets always seem to rebound on the weekend. Whether you're talking Bitcoin or ETH, Solana or Avalanche, they all seem to perk up after Friday before going back in the trenches for yet another week. It seems that way for me too. The week wears me down, but the weekend and my visits with you always seem to lighten my spirits. Maybe it's the promise of a new episode. Maybe it's the promise of all the new friends I'll meet in the week ahead. Maybe, just maybe it's just the vibration in the ethos. But I do love this line of work, and I cherish each and every time we connect through one of these shows. The markets will be up again in the weeks ahead, and with each passing day, this show grows and finds new people to connect with. We're working to build crypto together with this show. We're working to build wealth and find financial independence with each show, and I do hope you are enjoying the time we spend together. Shoot me an email at info@thechartedlife.net. If you have something that needs answering or you want to just touch base with me, that's cool. Or follow me at That Sailing Guy all across the social media world. Stay tuned after this show as I wrote a whole new segment that I hope will turn into a show that pokes fun at crypto and all the personalities who have jumped in to play along. And that's the takeaway for this week. The party's over. Sunday night is here. I trust your weekend was all it could be and that we were a nice addition to your weekend festivities. Stay tuned for a few more minutes if you want to have a few good laughs before you start to work towards Monday. Big thanks to the folks at Delta Glass and Tire for getting me home. Big thanks to Luma Wealth, our sponsor, and our friends over at Crypto Potato and Crypto Dingo. Check us out on YouTube, Glacier FM, and all the podcasting platforms around the world if you want to hear this episode in all the different formats. We'll see you again next week at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. For the Crypto Nightly News and the Charted Life Productions, I'm Christopher German. for Sunday, August 7th, 2022. Good night and trade safely. Welcome to Definitely Probably Not the Real Crypto News. I'm your host, Christopher German. Each week we take a look at some of the more insane things to happen in crypto and make up stories based on those events that have nothing to do with reality. This is not the news. This is not even close to the news. If you wanted the news, you should have watched the last 30 minutes of the Crypto Nightly News. But as my dearly departed great-grandfather used to say, drive fast, drink hard, don't get caught, and take chances. Here are today's headlines. Robert Ormond was a good father to his son, John, for the first 12 years of his life, but when John made his first million, it was a bit more than his senior could take. In a break with usual and customary, Robert Ormond filed suit against his only son in Los Angeles Superior Court on Friday, claiming mental anguish and parental alienation. Lawyers for the father say that since the son makes more than 5 times his plumber father trading crypto, the son ought to be providing financial support for the father. The suit, likely a first but not the last in a nation given to the advent of child crypto kings, claims that if the son does not provide the requested financial support, the father has the right to force the child to seek emancipation under California state law. Papers for the plaintiff in the case state that the child has already purchased a car better than the father, despite not being able to drive, and has consistently upshown his father in giving gifts to his mother. The father also claims that the child has nicer clothes, better friends, and more political influence, having bankrolled 2 candidates for U.S. Senate and a Los Angeles judgeship. In a statement, the lawyer for the father said, "The kid's got more money than God because of crypto. The least he could do is take care of his dear old dad." And Twinkcoin is far less appealing treat for one orally fixated consumer. When Hostess announced the release of the new Twinkcoin confection last week, Julie Johnson had to try it. Her proclivity for mouth play has led to her developing a daily Twinkie habit thanks to the elongated yellow sponge cream-filled cake. However, when the fellatio fan found out that the dessert item was now shaped like a small cake in lieu of its elongated cylindrical shape, in homage to the new crypto craze, her appreciation for the long-time lunch staple had waned. "I always love to squirt the cream in my mouth with 2 hands, said Johnson. "I now have to fit at least 2 of those little cakes in my hands now, and it's no fun." When questioned about whether her dislike of the Twinkcoin was based on shape or content, Johnson said the old Twinkie cream used to fill her mouth, while the new shape only holds enough to partially fill her oral cavity. A spokesman for Hostess informed Johnson that she should not despair, as Twinkcoin is only available for a limited time and that it was purely created to show their support for decentralized finance. Johnson says that while she appreciates crypto as much as the next guy, she would prefer to get her Twinkie fun the old-fashioned way. EU puts hold on regs. The EU announced this week that the new MiCA regulations governing the use of crypto in the EU will be delayed by 2 years in an effort to gain a better understanding of what crypto actually is. European lawmakers last month hastily passed a set of regulations designed to regulate crypto and protect consumers, and were so enthusiastic to sign the bill that no one actually read it. It wasn't until last week, when the EU president visited a primary school in France, that reporters began to question the politician's understanding of crypto when a child in the 3rd grade asked if he owned any Bitcoin, and he was dumbstruck. Authors of the legislation, Johan Emmentaler of the Netherlands and Parmigiano Reggiano of Italy, were questioned about how they crafted the language for the regulations. Reggiano was quoted saying, "I Googled Vitalik Buterin blogs and watched all of Crypto Jeb's YouTube videos and just wrote the opposite of what they said." In the U.S., lawmakers are slow-walking similar legislation after sponsoring Senators Kristen Sinolat and Cynthia Looney Tunes admitted that they had no idea what crypto actually was after sponsoring legislation that lobbyists paid them for. Sinolat stated that she is waiting for a check to clear from Crypto.com before she will resubmit the legislation, as she needs to hire a Dorito-eating nerd from the local high school AV club to explain it all to her. And that is definitely probably not the real crypto news. I'm your host, Christopher German. Tune in each week for more news headlines. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.